Jake the Snake Roberts, 1995, 96. Road Warrior Hawk, 1999. Jeff Hardy, 2009. Jeff Hardy, 2020. What do all these things have in common? Vince McMahon, in his mass wisdom, decided, I'm going to exploit these men and their alcoholism and their demons. What did we start this show of Smackdown on tonight with? We started with a car accident. We showed the beginning, we showed earlier in the day, even though this was taped on Monday. We saw ambulance, a car that was wrecked, Elias laying on the ground, hurt. We saw the end of a car accident. And apparently somebody got out of the car in black pants and in a black shirt and ran away. The officer goes over to the car, looks at the visor, and down comes a piece of paper, opens it, it says Jeff Hardy. Where is Jeff Hardy? Well, we go to Braun Strowman, he says he's seen somebody running from the car. He didn't know exactly what was going on, which, by the way, this is the only time we see Braun Strowman for the night, even though he's the Universal Champion, defending the title at Backlash in a 2-on-1 handicap match, and we do zero build to that. Anyway, then we see police officers, referees, Jamie Noble and Jason Jordan running to a back part of the performance center, and there is Jeff Hardy, disoriented, looking like everything, there's something wrong, like he can't, like he's stumbling around, he can't figure out what's going on, and then he's getting arrested and put into a cop car, and he is taken away, and so is Elias is taken away. Vince McMahon cannot fucking help himself. Every fucking time, Vince McMahon, every time somebody in the company has some kind of alcohol problem or pill problem, what does WWE do? Hell, I forgot to mention the promo of Paige to Becky to Charlotte Flair when she said her brother didn't have any fight left in him. Vince McMahon loves to take personal demons and personal problems of a family or an individual and exploit it because the ratings are down. We need to get a ratings grab. This was absolutely tasteless, garbage, should have never been put on our television. Vince McMahon should be fucking locked up for all this shit. Are you fucking kidding me? Like I said, they did it with Jake the Snake Roberts back in the new era where he, of course, yes, had his problems and he was an alcoholic. He would come to the ring, he would act disoriented and act like he was inebriated and everything, only to pull the rug over Jerry the King Lawler. They did the same thing in 99, where they had Road Warrior Hawk running around the ring, acting like a drunk, climbing the Titantron, having Draws go up there, looked like Draws pushed him off. There's probably another one in between that one and 2009 where you had Jeff Hardy's real-life alcohol and pill problems exploited by CM Punk. Oh yeah, CM Punk versus Chris Jericho, I believe, a couple years later. Jericho, I know CM Punk's clean and everything, but they brought up the fact that his father was an alcoholic, his daughter, his sister struggled with drug abuse, and Vince McMahon just loves to throw this shit out there because, hey, it's a ratings grab. Did Jeff Hardy really hit Elias tonight with his car? No. It was obviously going to be someone framing him, but still, it's no fucking excuse. That is tasteless. That is classless. It should have never been put on a fucking television. Vince McMahon should be fucking ashamed of himself. But hey, anything to get the ratings in because WWE's ratings suck right now, and what are they going to do about it? Matt Hardy was not happy about this at all. Matt Hardy, if I can find the tweet here, posted like right after this tweet came done, after this whole shit happened. Just to reiterate, I am happy to be working at AEW, at All Elite Wrestling, AEW, at AEW, AE Wrestling, or at Tony Khan on Wednesdays. I can see why. Look at the bullshit they put Jeff Hardy through. This is not the first time, as I mentioned before, and it won't be the last time. It's just so fucking stupid that they even did this shit. I fucking hate when Vince McMahon does this. They have Jeff Hardy still here. Jeff Hardy could have let his contract run out, like, say, you know what, I don't want to wrestle anymore, I'm going to leave as well. But he's like, no, I'm going to come back. I'm going to try and have one more comeback. They went 4 fucking weeks building this guy's return up. The rise, the fall, the comeback, and the return. And what did they fucking do? Let's have him be drunk and disoriented. They had a fucking cop walk up to Jeff Hardy and say, oh, he smells like the bottles in the car. What the fuck was that? I mean, I know why they did it. They wanted to lie because they realized, oh shit, we booked this Intercontinental title tournament thing so fucked up. We can't have Daniel Bryan lose because we want Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles in the finals, which is the right call. But we also don't want Jeff Hardy to lose because the guy just came back. But seriously, you couldn't think of something better to do than Jeff Hardy apparently hit Elias with a fucking rental car? Are you fucking serious? I mean, fuck. They could have done something where Jeff Hardy and Elias were found knocked out in the back. Who attacked them? That would have been a million times better than this bullshit. Who thought this was a good fucking idea? This has to be the worst. Like, we always talk about bad promotional tactics and bad tactics that WWE does. This was fucking awful. I just cannot accept the fact that WWE would do something stupid like this. This was retarded. So, after we got done with this bullshit, we go backstage. And I think it was Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce has become the pseudo GM of SmackDown. You don't see him on Raw, but you only see him running on SmackDown and booking matches. So Adam Pearce has become the voice of the authority, like the voice of WWE management, aka a general manager, because he's back there with Jey Uso, Sheamus, Drew Gulak, Baron Corbin, Shinsuke Nakamura, Grand Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, Chad Gable, Cesaro, Ziggler, Sheamus, AJ Styles, trying to figure out, like, letting them know that Elias got hit by a car. Then some stagehand comes in and lets him know that, hey, Jeff Hardy's been arrested. So both of those guys are out of the tournament. AJ was like, you know what? That's fine, because that means me and Daniel Bryan in the finals. I see no problem with that. There's no reason to go any further. But then Daniel Bryan's like, oh, I'm not going to fly with that because I want to wrestle tonight. I want to wrestle somebody else and have them earn a shot. Then you have Sheamus and Baron Corbin both wanting to get back into the tournament because, yes, they already lost and they shouldn't get another chance. And then you get bickering left and right from everybody there. Adam Pearce is like, stop! AJ says, you know what? I don't want to fight anybody. I earned my keep. My opponent's not in this thing anymore, so I'm going to go and take a bye to the finals. So AJ Styles will be in the finals. I believe it said, I think Adam Pearce said 2 weeks from now. I could be wrong. I think that's what they said was 2 weeks. But he then said, everybody else is going to be in a battle royal. Everyone else. So, that was our first match. AEW does a battle royal, and SmackDown does a battle royal. Battle royal was nothing special. Like, it took forever for somebody to get eliminated. Lindsay Dorado was out first. Baron Corbin then eliminated Drew Gulak. Nice to see you, Gulak. I see you signed your contract, and now you're just back to being nobody. Grand Metalik got eliminated by Corbin. Ziggler got eliminated by Corbin after he tried to eliminate Baron Corbin, but when he wanted to try and go and grab Corbin by the head and throw him out, his hand slipped over Baron Corbin, and he was like, oh shit, I'm only kidding. Baron threw him out. Then Jey Uso, who was in this match, who doing that pep thing in the back, was like, Jimmy might be injured, but I'm still here, give me a shot. So he got himself a little bit of time in this match. Hit a super kick, knocking Baron Corbin to the outside. Baron Corbin was out, and that was where we went to break. We come back, Chad Gable, who's in this match, still rocking that ugly fucking gimmick that he was rocking. I guess the hacker gimmick, which everyone thought might be a tag team of Chad Gable and Mustafa Ali, that has been nixed, or that has been debunked because Chad Gable was here tonight. But Cesaro gets eliminated by Gable, then Nakamura gets eliminated by Gable. Nakamura is distracting the referees. He's trying to get back in. Cesaro comes back in, throws Gable out of the ring. Referees do see Gable fall out. They're like, no, you're done. So we get to Sheamus and Jey Uso. So they have themselves about a 2-3 minute match in the ring. It comes down to them on the outside. They're both on the apron. Sheamus throws Jey into the ring post hard. You can see his head hit. Jey gets back up, bro kick, 1, 2, and that is it. Bro kick, he is out of the match, and that is it. Sheamus wins. So Sheamus wins another opportunity. I think it was fucking stupid. If you wanted Sheamus to face Daniel Bryan this week, why didn't he just beat Jeff Hardy last week? Why did he not just beat Jeff Hardy last week? If you still wanted to do this stupid fucking angle, you still could have did this fucking angle because Elias was into the next round, and it could have just been a way to get Elias out of the match. And everything that happened on this show, including the end of the show, could have still happened. So if you wanted Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan, you could have just did Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan in the first fucking place. Why have Jeff Hardy beat Sheamus last week if all you're going to do is do what you did? Now we're in the back, and Chad Gable is pissed. He's yelling at Nakamura and Cesaro because Cesaro screwed him out of his opportunity. Gable's like, I had no problem with losing, but getting robbed of my opportunity, that's what I have a problem with. Of course, Cesaro has to make a bunch of short jokes about Chad Gable's size and that this is where the big boys play and everything, and you need to back up and just go away, or because you don't want to get back in the ring with me. Gable, of course, looks like he's about to leave, turns back around, socks Cesaro in the mouth, and says, challenge accepted. They will have a match later in the night. Then we go to Sonya Deville, who's in the back, saying she's already taken out one dumb blonde bimbo. And now she's telling Lacey Evans that she needs to put her hair up or square up. Lacey Evans is behind her, shoves her, says, I'll see you in the ring, and walks away. So, we have Lacey Evans versus Sonya Deville. This match has come out our way because earlier in the week, Sonya Deville put up a tweet, I believe, mocking Mandy Rose, and then Lacey Evans responded. They had a little back and forth on Twitter, and that's where this match comes from. Lacey, of course, talking, and by the way, there was a crowd in SmackDown this week, and unfortunately, because the way they did these tapings, Raw sounded a lot more livelier than SmackDown because they taped Raw, SmackDown, Main Event, and 205 Live all in about 10 hours. And I feel like they taped SmackDown last because these guys sound like you could hardly even hear the crowd. They sounded like they weren't even there half the time. And for whatever reason, Raw sounded a lot more livelier than SmackDown did. Of course, being around Monday Night Raw for 3 straight hours, only getting a break probably just for them to change sets, and then continuing for the next few hours sucks. Which, by the way, why do these guys have to stand? Why could you not give these guys chairs to sit down, especially if they were going to be there for 10 fucking hours taping many hours of Raw and SmackDown? They did the same thing on fucking Tuesday. Hopefully they were able to sit down. You can socially distance sitting down too. It's not that fucking hard. You put a chair here. If you have to, do something to be able to make sure the chair doesn't move so people can't move together. If they want to stand, that's fine, but if they want to be able to sit, let them fucking sit. Like when the last episode of NXT that happened at the Performance Center that week that all this went, the last day that all this stuff happened when Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa destroyed the PC, was everybody in those stands standing? No, they were sitting. Give these people chairs. My God, I would hate to have to stand there for almost 10 hours straight, getting almost no breaks. Jeez, it's almost like working at a fast food restaurant again if I was them. Now, Lacey and them are squaring up against each other. Lacey says, well, hold on. It's like I'll show you how good I am in amateur wrestling. She gets down in the position you usually see when there's a start of a wrestling match in the Olympics or something. They wrestle around. Lacey Evans gets the better of it. She starts beating up on Sonya. Says something about, I think she said something about Mandy will always be better than Sonya. She calls her nasty, throws her handkerchief in her face. Sonya's not happy about that. Takes her fist and bops her in the face. She hits her with another one, throws her into the corner. Then another hard shot. Evans kicks out for one. Kick to Evans for a 1 count. Evans with a front face lock buster, followed by a gator roll into the apron. She starts suffocating Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville falls through the apron, comes out, takes her down, starts wailing on her. Referee is counting. These two continue to fight. Referee gets to 10, 9.5 before Lacey Evans could even realize what's going on. 10, they all both get counted out. So Lacey Evans gets back in the ring, tells her to get her ass back in here. We're not done with this yet. And of course, Sonya Deville says, "I will fight you on my time." So that's not over with. Apparently, possibly, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, that was the blow-off last week. Really? The blow-off for the entire feud was last week? Is that what I'm getting at? Because you move Sonya Deville onto Lacey Evans, and it looks like they're not done with whatever they're going to be doing. Then we get a moment of Bliss with Bayley, the New Day. It was a tag team championship summit. I don't like talk show segments. I'm not like WWE has tried for years to recreate what Magic was Piper's Pit. They did it with King's Court. They found lightning in a bottle twice with the highlight reel. Then they got the Peep Show, the whatever Edge's show was. You had the Kevin Owens show, the Ambrose Asylum, Moment of Bliss. Just over and over. Even JTG back in the day had a talk show segment for a minute. WWE just loves themselves a talk show, and we don't fucking need it. So the New Day come out, and by the way, awesome for the New Day to have black armbands with white letters with Shad on them. That was awesome. Nikki gives them pancakes, Scottish pancakes that apparently is her grandmother's recipe. They gave him coffee beans from Bootyland, okay, whatever. They're talking about, they were asked about who they think will be the best next contender for the tag team titles because they won that Fatal 4-Way. Kofi mentions the Forgotten Sons, how they've been tearing it up lately, which they haven't really been doing anything except for boring us to sleep with their boring PSAs. Out came Bayley and Sasha Banks, the Boston Thug Connection. So Bayley comes out, and they both are like, well, I see 2 tag teams in the ring, but I don't see the best tag team out there. Banks is like, I don't either. She gets in the ring, takes off her jacket, flaunts her sexy body, and says, now I do. I can't do her voice, so I'm not going to try. Of course, Nikki Cross congratulates Bayley. Bayley's like, that's what I want to hear. And then Alexa Bliss says, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 champions. Sasha, where's your championship? Of course, this pisses off Bayley. She has words. One thing leads to another, and we get Bayley showing Sasha Banks to the wolves, who's not ready to wrestle, is wearing heels, mind you, and we get Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks. Why could we not just make this a tag team match? I mean, come on. Why the fuck not? Oh, we have to wait to do that next week for the tag team championships, mind you. So they're having this match, and I really couldn't get into the match or anything, not because of who was in the ring, it's because on commentary, they spent more focus on commentary with Nikki Cross and Bayley on each side of the announce desk, going back and forth with each other while the 2 women in the ring are trying to have a match. Well, it comes down to the match is getting close to the end. Bliss looks like she's going to go up for Twisted Bliss. Bayley gets on the apron and is trying to distract her. Nikki gets in between Bayley and Alexa Bliss. They brawl for a little bit. Bayley shoves her backwards. She falls into Bliss, knocking Bliss down. Running knees by Banks. Banks goes over the top rope. I don't know what she was trying to do here. He goes onto the apron, comes over, just lands straight on top of Bliss, and rolls her up into a roll up for the 3 count. I don't know what the fuck was supposed to go there. Maybe Bliss was out of position. Maybe she was supposed to be up a little bit more. All I know is that just looked really weird. So Sasha Banks wins. Next week we will get Banks and the Boss and Thug Connection versus Bliss, Cross, Applesauce for the women's tag team titles. The question is, will Bayley become Bayley 2 belts? Or are they just going to keep the titles on Bliss and Cross? I have no idea. That's really the only two teams that you have right now. Maybe they give them the Bayley and Sasha Banks just to give them something to do, because Bayley and Sasha Banks should not be splitting until it's time for the match between Bayley and Sasha Banks. So, then we get our next match. We get Chad Gable and Cesaro. And Cesaro, Chad Gable, both showing you while WWE should be doing something with them, WWE will not be doing anything with them. Chad Gable and Cesaro are two highly underutilized talents who honestly should have been in the Intercontinental title tournament. Why were neither one of these guys in that IC title tournament, can I ask? Why do we need to have Elias in there if you were only going to do what you did? Why do we have to have Baron Corbin in every fucking thing that you're going to do? Chad Gable and Cesaro would have been great pieces for the title tournament. Take Baron Corbin out. Take Elias out. This could have been a first round match in the IC title tournament, but no. Of course, this is the first time we've seen Chad Gable in many, many months. Short match, Gable rolls him up, 1, 2, 3, Chad Gable wins, and that was that. Then, Kurt Angle is seen backstage. And he talks about things that happened, like he used to run SmackDown, him, The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Hulk Hogan, to name a few. He shortly mentions the quote-unquote greatest wrestling match ever, which I'm going to say the greatest wrestling match, the greatest wrestling failure ever. But then he mentions about the future and who's coming to SmackDown. And that man, as we know, and he said he got to get to know this guy a lot over the last few months, especially last past Wednesday when he was there to officiate his final match in NXT in that fight pit, which, holy shit, Timothy Thatcher, I don't know if those were actual teeth or not, but God, that looked brutal. And he introduces Matt Riddle. We get a video package from Matt Riddle. So yes, Matt Riddle is coming to SmackDown probably after, I would say after Backlash. Don't debut him until after Backlash, because honestly, what's the fucking point? If you have nothing for Matt Riddle going into Backlash, you don't introduce him until Backlash. It's just that simple. So hey, I would not be mad about that. I will get into the whole Matt Riddle thing and why he's coming to SmackDown and what the real reason why he's being moved from NXT on Sunday. Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. I really cringe when it comes to Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. Lest we forget, Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 31, wins the Intercontinental title. A few days later, or a week or so later, he faces Sheamus in a non-title match. In that match, Daniel Bryan headbutted Sheamus a couple times, was sent backwards, barely missing, I believe, the announce desk, gets up, and there is blood streaming down his face from a errant headshot. And Daniel Bryan, that was Daniel Bryan's last match until he came back 2 years ago. So yeah, I cringe when these two wrestle because they don't take it easy on each other. Sheamus is a stiff worker. I do forget to mention that Sheamus was backstage talking to Kayla, not happy with the fact that we're talking about Matt Riddle and not Sheamus. So, could we possibly see Sheamus versus Matt Riddle in a feud after his beef with Jeff Hardy is over? Holy shit, I almost called him Jeff Hardy. Wow. But yeah. Long, stiff match between these two. Jeff Hardy showed up towards the end. He's just standing there. Sheamus is like, what are you doing here? And he's like, he's trying to go for the bro kick. comes out of the corner, running knee, 1, 2, 3. Daniel Bryan is your winner, and he will go on to face AJ Styles in the Intercontinental title championship final. The match we all knew was coming. We just had to wait until it came. So, Jeff Hardy comes in the ring afterwards, and he beats on Sheamus. Sheamus finally leaves, and that was that. Now, I'm just going to say right here, I don't give a shit I don't give a shit what the outcome was at the end of the show. We did not need to see Jeff Hardy apparently hitting Elias because he's inebriated. That is not fucking cool. That is not great. That is tasteless. It is classless. Should have never been on our fucking television. It's just a ratings grab. Gee, it's a whodunit. Oh, Jeff Hardy, did he really do it? Tune in for the rest of the show because you might find out. That's what they did. It's also to say, well, Jeff Hardy showed up at the end of the night. He attacked Sheamus. Why did he do that? We'll find out next week, apparently. This is so bad. I guarantee you more people turned off Smackdown as soon as Jeff Hardy was arrested than so like, this is intriguing. I'm going to see the rest of the show because I want to see what happened to Jeff. Oh, he's there? Why did he attack Sheamus? I guess I have to tune in next week. That's not going to happen. More people are going to stop watching the show because of this bullshit. WWE and Vince McMahon just don't fucking get it. This was not worth our time. That was a waste of fucking 20 minutes. Now, when it comes to Matt Riddle, we'll talk about it again on Sunday. I have a lot of feelings on what's going to happen with Matt Riddle and how WWE is going to fuck it up in the end. It's rinse and repeat with these NXT talent coming to the main roster, but we'll talk about it then. One other thing that happened in the show, they had a date with Mandy Rose and Otis. Poolside, by the way. I could give two shits about this. After Otis got the girl, I really didn't care about the rest of the story. I just didn't. I don't care. I just want it to be over with. Otis is going to get screwed out of his Money in the Bank opportunity because of Mandy Rose. That's where it's going. That's exactly where it's going. And again, where the fuck was Braun Strowman, The Miz, and Morrison? Next week, apparently, Miz and Morrison are going to warn Braun Strowman. And that's all we're ever going to know. All I know is WWE has got to do something else. Because, my word, this show was big crash and miss for the majority of the show. John Gable Cesaro, good short match. Daniel Bryan, Sheamus. It's hard to have, like, WrestlingInc.com's Twitter page put out a tweet. Has Daniel Bryan ever had a bad match? Yes, probably in his career. It happens, who hasn't had a bad match in their career? But it's a rarity. It's an absolute rarity. Another good, solid match between Daniel Bryan and Sheamus. Again, with the track record of things that happened with Daniel Bryan in past matches, I do cringe because you remember what happened and what was Daniel Bryan's last match before his first retirement. And I know no headbutts are this time, but it's just one of those things that, like, I don't want to, but, you know. All I know is, that is that. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video, find me on Twitter at The France Club, find me on twitch.tv/The France Club, and I will see you guys Sunday for Unscripted episode 121, I believe. Until then, my name is France, and I'll see you guys later.